Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GabNet programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before. Talk Like You've Never Heard It Before is now Talk Like You've Never Seen It Before. Alex Bennett's Ramble is now in video. Log on to Alex's Facebook page at facebook.com/abennett every Tuesday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern and experience the Citizen Panel like never before. We put a face to people like Phil, Patrick, Renee, Kevin, Tony, Jeff, Bree, Brian, and all of our regulars. And Alex is there too in his PJs. Just be glad he isn't naked. You can be one of those people who gets seen and not just heard by calling into Skype. For more information on how to Skype us, just go to gabnet.net. You can dress any way you want, provided it's decent. GabNet is now not just talk and not just a pretty face. So why don't you add yours? We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
Let's capture, who are all these people who are watching these cooking shows? And they're stoners, right? So I'm wondering, is this a program that Netflix has absorbed? I don't know, what is the purpose of Netflix making a 14-minute show? Now, aside from those 2 interesting facts about this show, the show is fucking terrible. Do not watch this show. It fucking sucks.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern. Join Alex Bennett on The Ramble.
Say goodbye to the unions.
Renee, what was the decision? And then we'll go to Patrick.
It doesn't matter. Just say goodbye to the unions.
No. But I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you what was in the decision yesterday.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, let me look it up.
Yeah, he'll go look it up at glennbeck.com.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
Most high school boys, what have we got on our mind? Sex and girls and sex and sex and sex.
And booze and drugs.
Yeah, the Asian guys I knew in high school, I don't know, I'm sure they thought that way, but perhaps they were more disciplined about it. Although there was this Japanese girl in high school that your old friend, the Black Avenger, had the hots for. Oh, my God. Be still my sake wanting to drink self.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Well, and even if you did that, it doesn't give you the right to grab your Uber driver's private. I mean, and like, what part of that to him sounded like a good idea?
Oh, she played a special song.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, it's Alex Bennett and this is The Ramble, and it goes on from now until Now until my cock crows. Oh no, until the cock doesn't crow at midnight, does it? At midnight Eastern time. Hey everybody, how are you? I have no guests tonight. It's just you and me, okay? And I usually have something pre-recorded here that we run, and then I can go out and I can take a dump and I can get my coffee, and I can do a whole bunch of things. But no, that's not what's going on, okay? So I got to tell you, let me tell you something interesting here. I'm going to do something interesting while we're talking here, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you what I go through every day. Okay, right now, let's see, has he done it yet? No, he hasn't done it yet. Damien is posting his show on the playlist. That's the thing you hear 24/7 when you go to gabnet.net and then you hit the play button and you listen to the programming. He's placing his program there. He has just done it, okay? So that means that I can go get it. Now, I'm going to show you the process I have to go through, and I want you to realize that this is just one of the little pieces of the process, okay? So I go over to where, let's see here. I go over to where he's just put that, okay? And I find it, and it's a file. It's EX190321, okay? And then I put it down into this program called Fission. I drag it down into this program called Fission, and then it says artist, and I have to put in Damien Chaplin, and then the next thing I put in is the exchange. Then I have to get a picture from up here to put into this file, so that when it's on Roku, you see his logo, okay? So I have to put that here, okay? Now I have to take that, and I have to save that, okay? And I file save as, and of course it's all that, and then it puts it there, okay? Then I go over to Gabnet, into a file called Gabnet, and I can get rid of that. I don't need that. Okay. And I take the exchange that I just made, and I put it over on the other machine. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Replace. All right. Okay. Replace. All right. I did that. Okay. Then I get rid of those. Then it now, and if you are on gabnet.net, if you go over to the left-hand side, we have an on-demand thing. And the on-demand thing simply states that the program is, that there are programs that are available on demand. Now, if you go to any of the top 4 programs there right now, you'll get nothing, okay? Like, just for the hell of it, if you're playing this game along with us, click on the exchange and see what comes up. See? Nothing comes up. What comes up is just a white screen saying the file is not available. That's because I haven't put the file up yet, but I can do that very easily. I go over here to a thing called FileZilla, and I go over to the exchange file there, and I go to the exchange here that we have. Okay, and then I double click on it, and very fast, because I have very fast internet, it puts that file on there. Now, if you were to click on there, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna just do this for the hell of it so that we can make sure that it worked. I'll go over here to where is it? Where's Gabnet? What happened? Oh, there's Gabnet. Okay, and then I hit the exchange, and there we go.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before.
See, okay, so we've now it's up, and that I did that. Now you saw how long that took me to do, maybe 2 minutes. Okay, now take that and quadruple it. So that's about 8 to 10 minutes that I have to spend every night just doing that process. Before that, I have a process which is posting the programs, in which I have to make what's called an XML file for each of the programs that are on, of 4 of them. And they each take me about, 4 minutes apiece to do, taking a total of about, 15, 16 minutes. So you add that to the 8. And now you say, okay, Alex, it's only like 8 and then 16. It's 24 minutes, okay, that you're in this process. And you go, okay, that's fine. I have been doing that every day for the last 5 years for at least 4 programs. Okay? So, yes. Think about how many hours I have spent of my life just simply doing the busy work. And I wish we were making tons of money here and I could go out and hire a person to do that work for me. I don't want to get an intern because I don't like people working for slave labor. But, somebody's got to put the thing up, and if I could just get somebody in here to do it. Now, Damien has said, I'll do it for my program. I'll make that XML file, and I'll post the whole thing. But it's like he doesn't, I have to have access to the same thing. It's easier if I do it. I would love it if other people would do it. If I could have each of my people post their own shows, I would be delighted with that. If I didn't have that to do, I think my life would be better. But every day around 5 o'clock, I say, I got to go post the shows, and I'm off here for, 20 minutes posting the shows. And then, in my adulterated state of taking drugs like gabapentin and so on, I get a little woozy, and so then I make mistakes. And I make more mistakes today than I used to make. So I'm then fixing the mistakes. All right. So anyway, that's what we do here. That's the exciting part of doing a podcast. Please, somebody get me about 100,000 listeners every night so that I can sell advertising and hire somebody to do that shit. All right? Right. Anyway. Hello and good evening to all of you. Now you have a backstage pass to how this show is done. Now, if I could just come in here and just talk to you, man, that's the great thrill I have. That would be really easy. But I got this bullshit of I got to move the thing here and I got to take the thing there and I got to put the thing there. And it's the repetition, I think, that gets me crazy. I've always had a great deal of sadness for people who do repetitive work. And there are a lot of people out there who do repetitive work. Repetitive work is a major factor in today's society. People who are at a car plant, and his job is to put in the side view mirror, okay? And then the next guy's job is to put on a bumper. And they do this over and over and over and over again. They get paid fairly good money for it, but, after a while, you got to go crazy with the repetition. And you go over to China, you go to some of those places like Foxconn where they make your iPhone and so on. Just imagine for a moment just imagine for a moment how many people go crazy doing that kind of work. So much so that Foxconn used to have people living on premises, and they had dormitories, and below the dormitories they had netting. And the reason they had netting is because after, putting in that one part on that iPhone day in, day out, this repetitive work, people were jumping out of the windows and killing themselves. So I have repetitious work I have to do here, and it drives me nuts. I did not get into this business to do repetitious work. I got into this why did I get into radio? So I wouldn't have to work, okay? So I wouldn't have to do some job that takes literally something out of you, just sucks the soul out of you. And people who work at places like, I was looking for my iPhone, which isn't here. It's in the other room. Great. Tonight will be the night that Jack Bishop has a problem with his program, and he calls me, and the phone rings over there. Anyway, but I sometimes feel guilty about owning an iPhone because of the people that make it. I mean, I know I give them work, but man, the repetitious work they're doing is driving them so they jump out of windows at Foxconn. Anyway, that's that. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about something tonight, and I figured, okay, I'll bullshit for about a half hour here, for about 25 minutes before, the show. And the thing that has gotten to me is that I think we have lost our soul as a country. I don't know that we were ever that great. I mean, there were other countries that had, I think, a better national sense of decency than we do. I mean, you take any of the Scandinavian countries, they're very decent people up there. And they have a basic problem come along, and they figure out how to solve it, in some kind of humane way. Well, in this country, we have things that we obsess ourselves with, and that we treat it like it's the most important basic freedom that we have. And one of those freedoms is the freedom to have a gun. I don't know, I don't think in their wildest imaginations, the framers of our Constitution, when they wrote the Second Amendment, really meant it that way. It was meant to solve a problem at the moment. They just come out of a Revolutionary War where you had a musket at home, so that when Paul Revere ran through the town yelling, "The British are coming, the British are coming," you'd grab your musket and you'd go out and start shooting. And so the right of the individual, in order to maintain a well-ordered militia, that's a prerequisite to this thing, the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. But that was then. Today, if they looked at that and saw the way in which it had been perverted and used all wrong, and when they see grade schools being shot up by some crazed lunatic who has access to these weapons of destruction, I think they would say, let's forget about number 2, or let's reword it, or let's make it more specific. Like, in case the British ever invade again, the right of, whatever. So the spirit of the Constitution is not, the way it was written. It was written at a time where that was needed, but it isn't needed now. What, I'm losing lots of people as I'm talking? Fuck you. Anyway. I look over here, and there's this little graph that shows me how many people are listening and watching and not watching, and it just went bloop the minute I started talking about guns. Well, fuck you, okay? Go away. I don't want you. I want all the other people stuck around. So, in New Zealand a week ago, 1 week ago, I'm emphasize 1 week ago, New Zealand was hit by an attack at a Muslim mosque, and then another second Muslim mosque as well. Total damage, I think, was a total 50 people dead? I believe it was a total of 50. I think it was 49, and then the 50th person died just a while back. But anyway, it's 1 week. Already, New Zealand says they are going to make it illegal, make it impossible for you to have military-grade weapons, okay, and also assault rifles. Okay, they said we're just gonna do it. We're off and running on this thing. It took them 1 week. Took them 1 week. What? I mean, they're going to have to go to their Congress and so on, but it's going to pass. It's going to pass really easily, okay? Because these people, don't want this shit going on in New Zealand. They're very happy with the life they've had there. You know, they had this killing of these people in New Zealand was more people than get killed in a single year in all of New Zealand. Now, we can't say that because it was less than the total amount of people that get killed every year in New York City by weapons. But nevertheless, knowing that their nature is not that, and that probably maybe they don't even have to do away with assault weapons and military grade ammunition, the big guns, the ones that rapid fire. I don't know what you call them. Forget it. I'm not a big gun guy. They got it together fast enough because they said, hey, if this is going to be a possibility, then we're going to make it an impossibility. And I think that says wonderful things about the people of New Zealand. They take great pride in being national, that there are a lot of people there from different countries and different cultures, and they take great pride in that. And they don't want that happening a lot or anymore. Now, they're not banning handguns, and I don't know why. I don't know what the thinking is behind that, but at least they did something fast about it, and hopefully they say within a couple of weeks they expect that the whole country will not be allowed to have these weapons of mass destruction. As a sidebar note, right after the incident in New Zealand, thousands of people showed up at their local police departments with their guns and turned them in. Now, can you imagine that happening? I mean, we had a thing like what went on up in at that school a few years ago with the kids, and any number of incidents. The one that took place in Florida, did anybody suddenly run into their police department and say, here's my gun? No. Everybody was saying, don't take my gun away. No, you're going to use this as an excuse to take my gun away. Damn right. Kids get killed with these things. People get killed with these things. Let me tell you another story. I've told the story before, but I'm going to tell it again. I hate guns. I absolutely detest them. I detest them because they are they have no other use. They have no other reason for existence, or as we call it, or the French call it, raison d'etre. See how smart I am? They have no other use but to kill something. Now, sometimes it's used to kill an animal. You take it home and you eat it. Okay, but it's only, if you can tell me that it has another purpose besides killing something, then I'll give you any argument back you want. But no, you can't tell me that it isn't used for that. Okay? Because what do you do? What the gun? Oh, you take the butt of the gun and you can hammer it like it's a nail with it, like it's a hammer. Yeah, but that's not what it was made for. You can use a hammer for that. Yeah, I guess you could kill somebody with a hammer, but you have to be a lot closer. Can't be across the street, right? The same thing with a lot of other weapons, things that are dangerous, knives and so on. Somebody has to come up close to somebody else in order to use them. With a gun, you can be across the street. All right. But guns their only purpose is they were created to kill something. Basically, they were created for hunters. They were an automatic thing for hunters. But then we went off to war, and what did we use them for? To kill other people. I mean, I use it for target practice. Well, I'm sorry. The gun wasn't created for target practice. Target practice is only a form of practice so that you'll be really good at using that gun to kill somebody. Ta-da! Does any of this make sense to you? Am I making sense? Anyway. So when I was, how old was I? Maybe 17. I had a friend. And he had problems. He was one of these kids who, you know, just kept getting into trouble, and he was just a wild child at the time. I've known him since, and he's become a friend of mine since, and he's turned into a fine, decent human being. But at the time, he was a little on the nutty side. And I went over to his house one day, and he, as we're talking, he says, "Look what I got," and he pulls out a gun. And I went, oh, that's nice. You finally got yourself a gun. He says, "Yeah, and it's loaded too." I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, and he pointed the gun at me. And he said, "Don't leave. Stay right where you are, or I'll shoot you." And I sat there. I didn't know what to do. And then he took the gun, and instead of just pointing it at me, put it at my head. Okay? I was in this condition and in this situation for about 25 minutes. If it wasn't 25 minutes, it was the longest time I'd ever spent in one place, trying to figure out how to get myself out of this thing. And I got... after a while, I just said to myself, well, if this is the day I'm going to die, then this is the day I'm going to die. But I'm just not going to put up with this. And I said, "I'm leaving. Do whatever you want to do." And I turned around and I started walking. And every step I took, I was anticipating a gun going off. For 25 minutes, I sat there with a gun pointed in my face, the gun cocked, filled with a bullet. It forever set me on a path to hating guns. I mean, I can't even pick one up. If you came in here and said, "Alex, here's a gun, pick it up," I couldn't touch it. Okay? That's how terrified I am of them. And I should be terrified. Don't I have a reason to be terrified? Let's be honest. I have every reason to be terrified of a gun. One was pointing at me with a bullet in it, and if this kid, who, by the way, was drunk when he did this, had suddenly forgotten to, kind of just was getting drowsy or something and let go of the trigger, I would have been a dead man. I just turned around, I walked out, and that was it. And I just said, why? Why do those things even exist? And I had just been terrorized by a gun. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever been terrorized by a gun before in your life, but I venture to say most of you haven't. And for those of you who say you have a gun around the house to protect your home, you don't even know about what guns are about and what having one in the house is all about. If you've got a gun, get rid of it. Don't have it around. Why? Because you actually put a piece of armament available to anybody who might want to do you no good. Let's say somebody, a guy wants to break into your house, is ready and willing to fight you rather than have you call the police or get him arrested or whatever. And if you're now pointing a gun at him, you have now added a component. He might not have a gun. You've added a component to the situation which wasn't there before. And he didn't enter with a gun, but now he knows where there is one. You're holding it. And if he jumps you, he's going to grab the gun and he could turn around and shoot you. So more people get killed by their own guns than just about any other device. So don't think that you're protecting your family. You're not protecting your family. How many kids every year get killed because their parents don't put those guns responsibly in a safe, and the kid finds it and boom, either blows his sister away or blows himself away. So all I'm saying to you is this obsession we have with guns has got to stop. Not very many countries have this same obsession, okay? And we got to do something about it. We really do. Well, I'm looking over here. Do you know I lost people talking about that? almost makes me want to sign off now and just say, fuck you, you know. But what I'm saying is important. And you got to start thinking a little more rationally about how we use these implements of destruction. And this insanity that goes on with the fight to keep guns legal, you know? I mean, it's absolutely amazing to me that this even goes on. So, that's it. That's my preachment for tonight. And I'm exhausted now. And I really should just, you know, I look here and we got up to a certain amount of people, and then all of a sudden it went down. Oh, now that I've stopped talking about it, it's going back up. Fuck all of you. Yeah. You know, go ahead, blow your brains out with your little guns. Have fun. Anyway, if anybody's noticed out there, I've opened up the Skype line so that we can talk, and so far Skype seems to be working. Every day I come in here and I'm waiting for the day that it won't work, but it does, because some geniuses out there learned how to make a version of it that Skype can't shut down, or at least for the time being can't shut down. And so we made that available for you to use. So the lines are open, and I'm just waiting for somebody to call. You know, I just went on a rant for the last 25 minutes, which I don't like to do, because I'd rather just play an interview or something that I did and just go out and have a half hour that I don't have to do anything. Well, what do you know? Here comes Charlie Wallace. Let me see here. And Phil Meyer is calling. And let me see here. Well, Charlie's going to kick in soon. Phil has kicked in. Yeah, there you go. You always take a little bit longer, Charlie, that you whirl around for a while before anything happens. Huh? Yeah.
He's looking for his gun.
Yeah, Phil. Very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny. I'm sure you were pissed at what I was saying.
No, you know, I don't get pissed because people have an opinion. You know, you have had your experiences. You have your opinion, as well as you know, you feel this is the way it is, and I think it's genuine. I don't agree with it, but
well, what is this? What is this gun insanity we have in this country? Why? What's so important about a fucking gun?
Well,
the
Second Amendment.
Fuck the Second Amendment. They didn't write it for that reason. They didn't write it for that reason. And by the way, the Supreme Court did dictate back in 1936 that particular amendment applied to a group right rather than an individual right.
Well, I'm all for the group having the guns, but you know, the Second Amendment was put there to prevent.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Phil.
So
we just came out of a revolutionary war where people had to get to arms fast in order to win that war. And so they put that in there in case the British ever came back and tried to do it again.
That's your interpretation.
And I'll tell you right now that the framers of the Constitution, if they were here today, would say, whoa, wait a minute, this is not what we meant. This is not the reason. This is not the You've got to think about why it was written when it was written.
I saw your signature right next to Button Gwinnett's signature on the Constitution. And I'm sure you were there, you knew.
Was his name Button?
Button Gwinnett. He was the least known person to sign the Constitution.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he would be here to tell you that isn't exactly what they meant. That was there because you got to realize, you know, people talk about the Constitution as being a living document, and actually it shouldn't be. It should be a thing that is constantly evolving, and that it is constantly changing because of the times. And that what was written back at the very beginning of our country was a very important statement to make in the Constitution.
There's Chief Justice Wheeler.
There's Chief Justice Wheeler. Would you agree with me, Josh, that when they wrote the Constitution, they wrote it with a certain thing in mind, and it wasn't like that everybody had to have guns and shoot up schools?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that the current situation or status, I don't know, whatever you want to say, is not probably concurrent with what they had in mind. I mean, I agree with you. I don't take like the extreme left position, okay, but I agree with you that they would be pretty shocked to see people owning, you know, personal arsenals. I mean, there are individuals in this country that are far more well armed than entire units, you know, were at that time. I mean, you know, and for no reason really.
How many guns do you
other
own?
than, you know, paranoia maybe.
How many guns do you own, Phil?
It's 8.
Well, there's your arsenal.
That's not a very big arsenal. I had friends with over 100.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
You know, they collected them and they displayed them.
Oh, you know, they're so beautiful too. They're just so that
Well,
cold
they
hard
really
steel
works
is
of art.
just, you know, God. If I had one right here, I'd like to jerk myself off with a gun. It would really be fun.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of rub it in the right way.
Yeah. I mean, come on, over 100 guns is the guy. He's out of his fucking mind. That's
The guy also owned a troop carrier and a fire truck, an antique fire truck.
Well, the point is, an antique fire truck sounds fun. Yeah. You know, what kid didn't want to have his own fire truck?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he had one.
Yeah.
He had more money he knew what to do with.
Yeah.
But he had quite a collection of guns, and, you know, he was a good shot, and he's dead now.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I went to a show for Hopalong Cassidy at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium. And William Boyd was there, who played Hopalong Cassidy. And one of the things they gave away as a prize was a gun and holster set with 2 guns and two holsters, whatever. Yeah. And they called out the number, and I won. And I couldn't have been happier to have myself guns, you know, these play guns. But I knew, you know, you were a kid and you knew they were play guns. You knew they weren't real guns.
It was a different time. They didn't have the stigma that they do because of the elitists that want to take it away.
Well,
so they can take away your rights.
I don't think it's a good thing to teach your kid to use guns, and there are other things he can play with. And most kids play. Anybody know any kids who play with guns anymore?
Yeah, but what if you taught them how to respect them rather than
use them? Why respect them? Just teach them don't have one.
Well, you know, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate it doesn't work that way, and it's time we start changing our mindset in this country.
You know, when I was a kid, they didn't give kids Adderall to keep them in line. And this Adderall causes psychosis, which makes them hallucinate.
Phil, did you hear what you just did?
Yeah.
You changed the subject. Really.
No, I'm telling you why.
No, you changed it. You changed it to Adderall, and every guy that ever went into a school and started shooting it up was on Adderall, weren't they? Every one of them.
Most likely.
No,
or some other
most likely no.
Go
online and find me the cases where they had been prescribed Adderall.
I can tell you that
you can't come. I bet you can't come up with one offhand.
Yeah, I can. Let's see.
Okay, here we
go ahead.
This is the way we keep him busy, and then the adults can talk.
I think you just have, you know, that New Zealand's having an overreaction to a situation. And
how is that an overreaction? What does anybody need a military grade?
What they ought to do is go after these white supremacists and watch them. Make sure that they're not dangerous.
There's a good way to make sure they're not dangerous is to make sure they can't get these military grade armaments.
Well, the guy bought it legally.
Well, he wouldn't be able to do it starting in a couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, we'll see. You know,
whenever Phil stalls, he's looking for some kind of lame answer he doesn't have.
Well, you got all of these people in New Zealand that want to get money for the guns that the government is going to seize anyway. So this is their one opportunity to recoup the cost of the gun. But a tyrannical government goes in. The first thing they do is they take away the guns. Then they take away the books. Then they take away the rest of your rights. You know, the Nazis did it.
Yes and
I haven't
no.
heard about them taking away anybody's guns. They're just making it illegal to sell them anymore.
No, they I believe that what I heard tonight was that they're going to take them. They want you to turn them in. They're going to make them illegal to possess.
People
But this guy also had a bump stock.
people in Germany and the adjacent countries to Hitler had guns, and they
took them away.
And they in fact used them, and they were in the underground.
Jews.
There were more guns. There were a lot of guns fighting the Germans. It wasn't like all of a sudden the Germans came along, took everybody's guns, and now they could take over. No, it's just they had this huge army that was very well supplied with armaments of war.
Yeah, and you didn't see all the book burnings and all the
what do the book burnings have to do with taking guns away?
Because first they take the guns.
No, see,
then they take the
you're
books.
completely throwing this thing in all kinds of different directions to deflect from the main question, which is, why do you have to own a fucking gun?
Because I'm a Jew supremacist. Not a white supremacist.
Well, go join your friend Netanyahu.
Meyer Kahane.
Netanyahu.
Oh. You know, I was at Brooklyn College. I was auditing a course, and in 1969, and this guy approached me in the class, and he says, "You want to join the JDL?" So I did, under my stage name.
What was your stage name?
Lee Phillips.
Oh boy.
You know,
anyway,
my radio name.
What, Meyer was too Jewish and you wanted to join the Jewish Defense League under a fake name so nobody would know you were a Jew?
Database. Well, actually, there was no databases in 1969, but I didn't want it on a list.
Oh, boy.
You know.
I remember the time I met Meyer Kahane. He was waiting in the lobby of the of WMCA. And the woman said, "This guy wants to see you." And I said, "Okay." And he said, I'm Meyer Kahane, and I'm the head of the Jewish Defense League. And I immediately knew who the hell that was. And he said, "I want to be on your show." And I said, "Not in fucking chance." And I turned around and walked away.
When did they kill him?
I don't know. Not soon enough. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, they were kind of like, who's that guy that you used to let on your show who wore the little beret and used to march around neighborhoods?
I never had him on.
You didn't have him? What was his name?
You mean the people that were part of the
Curtis Sliwa?
Curtis Sliwa?
Yeah, that's it, Sliwa.
No, oddly enough, I was interviewed a few years ago by Sliwa, and he was just so happy to talk to me because he says, I'm a big fan of yours. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but I've hated you all these years. Yeah. No, I never had him on the show. No.
No.
I never brought people on the show that I wouldn't want to talk to in normal situations, you know? Why should I bring a Curtis Sliwa on and then sit there and berate him for an hour? You know, I didn't see that as anything that functionally was important to do except to make me look good.
Yeah.
You know. But it didn't serve any purpose.
Yeah, as far as guns go, you know, I think if somebody's responsible and a law-abiding citizen and has the training and owns a safe, I don't think anyone should own a gun without a safe. And you know, that's a lot of these incidents are caused through.
Yeah, what about the kid who doesn't go to a class, but he manages to lay his hands on a gun and then he decides to go shoot up the neighborhood? What about that kid? We're not worried about the people who go to the gun classes.
What about?
No.
Is that a what about?
No, I'm asking you what about.
Yeah, I know you're asking.
Okay, about? How about?
All right, that's better. You know, I think that buying guns, you shouldn't be able just to buy a gun like you can buy a car you have to take a test when you buy a car and you drive it. You have to have insurance. There's a number of things you have to do. Now, I know that owning a car is not a right like it is to own a gun.
Funny you should mention that. I have to. It turns out I have to get my driver's license this year renewed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to go down to the DMV here because because in order to get a driver's license that has, if you do it online, it doesn't have a thing that allows you to use it to get on an airplane.
Right. There's a federal something.
You gotta have that little seal.
So I have to go down there.
Yeah.
In order to do that.
I have to get one of those too.
Yeah. What happens if I don't pass the eye test? They just say you have to wear glasses.
Yeah.
They don't not give you the.
No.
They just put a provision on it that needs corrective lenses.
Corrective lenses required.
Okay.
My license says that, but you know,
but they won't. If I say I don't have corrective lenses right now, they won't say, well, we won't give you the license until you get them.
No, you could try the test. Maybe you'll pass.
No, probably will. But what I'm saying is, if I fail the test, they then put on there you need corrective lenses, right? They don't.
No. You're going to have to wear the corrective lenses, take the test, and show that you can read the chart with the corrective lenses.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So if you have a pair, bring them with you. Keep them in your pocket.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm going to go see my eye doctor anyway and have him checked.
Yeah.
And see if I'm okay. Yeah. So anyway, but I don't have to do that till December. Then I have to go down.
In California, if you want to buy a gun, you need to have one of those new licenses. Otherwise, they won't sell it to you. For one reason or other, I don't know what the significance is completely of that new license, but it has something to do with a federal check.
They have you go through. You have to bring down a passport, driver's license. You have to prove that you live where you live. It's the kind of thing you would do if they were going to, let you on airplanes, let you go through the easy pass, stuff like that.
Well, because, I go shooting most Sundays in the morning, and I watch them. People want to buy a gun. They sell guns at this place that I shoot at.
Yeah.
And, there's a big sign that says you need that particular kind of license in order to purchase a gun.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I'll go down to the DMV and do it. What the hell? It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But if I do it by mail, what happens is I have to. If I do it by mail, I can't get that certificate or whatever it is on the license. Yeah. And by the way, they charge almost $60 for a license now.
In New York, maybe. I don't know what it is in California.
What do they charge where you are, Charlie?
I think it's 24.
Really?
6 years.
Yeah. Oh, this is like I don't know, 5 years or something. And then next year, my passport has to be renewed. So
that's expensive now. My passport renewal, because I had to renew it to go to the Bahamas, was $135. Plus, I had to pay more for some other form or some other mailing that they had to do, and they take your old one. They send it back eventually. But
yeah.
I think 10 years ago when I got my passport last time, it was $35 or something like that.
Mine was 115.
Yeah, wow. 10 years ago.
Yeah. 2009.
Yeah, well, so I got to get a passport. Well, what do I have to do with my days anyway? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But all I'm saying is that I just found it so civilized of New Zealand to do what they did and to do it as fast as they're doing it. They haven't done it yet. It'll take a couple more weeks to get all the things passed through their assemblies and so on, or whatever their form of government is there. They're probably communists and socialists, Phil.
Absolutely.
It's really it shows you what a civilized country does. We are not a civilized country anymore. You know?
36 school shooters, related violence committed by those under influence of psychiatric drugs. So this article,
yeah, but what article?
CCHR International, the mental health watchdog.
Well, do you know who they are and what they do and what their position on things are?
No, but they wrote an article that agrees with my opinion.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's the fucking trouble with the internet, is that you can go online and find somewhere, someplace, proof of your misguided opinions. I'm serious.
And yours.
No, I don't go on the internet to get my information. In fact, most of my information is pure logic. Oh. And not having guns, I think, is a purely logical stance.
Yeah. Well, Hitler felt the same way. I mean.
Oh, gee, what's with Hitler?
Well, what's with your stance? You know, same thing. It's.
Are you likening me to Hitler?
When it comes to guns.
Oh boy.
What books do you want me to burn?
Huh?
You know, you were the voice of youth. You were the guy that stood up to the man. And now anything the man recommends, you're right there saying, give me more.
The man recommends?
Yeah, the totalitarian power.
The man is Donald Trump.
No. The man is government.
And what is Donald Trump? He's the head of the fucking government.
No, he came in to stir those guys up.
Oh, yeah.
He came in to shake them up. And
he came into office to avoid arrest.
I don't think so.
Well, I think
he
so.
Thought he was going to win. You know.
Now he knows he better stay in until the day he dies. Otherwise, he's going to be up to his ass in indictments.
Does that mean he gets a third term?
No, that means he'll probably be. I think he'll be dead before then. Look at how little fatty 2x4.
Yeah, what was this deal I heard that he threw his golf club in the bag and it jumped back up and hit him?
Gee, even his golf club doesn't like him.
Yeah, he was pissed off. I don't know. I read that today, or I read the headline. You know.
Yeah, well, maybe he should stop playing golf and being president a little more. Do you really think?
Are you sure about that?
Do you think he works hard?
Well, you may get what you wish for. You know, if he's playing golf.
Well, no, if he worked more, maybe he would read the stuff that's put in front of him and understand how this government is run.
Mm-hmm.
He has a misguided idea of how the government is run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he's like a kid. I'm president. Why can't I do that?
Right. Well,
can't the president do anything he wants to do?
Why should he negotiate with terrorists?
Well, he negotiates with
Schumer, Pelosi.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un. What more of a terrorizing human being is that? I mean, the way he treats his people and the starvation and the prison camps and things like that.
It's not
he's terrible.
Starvation. It's the Atkins diet.
Yeah, sure. By the way, you know, I when I get a little tired of, is anybody else going to call the show tonight, or is it just going to be the three of us? Four of us, actually. The thing that now, what was I going to say?
The thing that bothers you.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me. Oh yeah, is that they always keep changing the rules on things.
Yeah.
You know, I went on the Atkins, what you call the Atkins diet. I call it a low-carb diet, okay? Yeah. And I lost 60 pounds. 55, I've gained a few pounds back. But, I mean, 55, 60, right in that area. Now, that was very good for my health, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all agree with that. Now, part of that was having 2 eggs every morning and some bacon, because they have no carbs. I am now told that if you have more than 4 eggs a week, it could give you heart problems.
You know, that's from the that's the egg haters of
Well,
society.
wait a minute. No. This is
that.
the AMA came out with this. So now I have this question to ask any doctor who would tell me you're eating too many eggs. I'm going to say, that's why I lost 60 pounds. Now, would it be better if I just put those 60 pounds back on?
And, well, they don't want you to do that either. But they'd rather give you drugs than allow you to have eggs, because eggs mean you didn't need the drugs. You know?
What? What drug?
The AMA is nothing more than a dispensary for drugs.
No.
Yeah, they're the arm of Big Pharma.
No, they aren't.
Yeah. Oh, take this pill.
No, they're not.
Oh, you got a reaction to that?
You got them. You got them all wrong.
Oh, they're nice guys?
No, but it's Big Pharma that are the assholes. The doctors sit there while these hot saleswomen come in and say, hey, you want to see this newest drug we've got? Look at my tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I sat in my doctor's office one day, and these saleswomen would come in, and I would go, I went into the wrong business. You know?
Well, you used to have, it wasn't saleswomen, it was groupies.
Well, believe me, these saleswomen were just, they're hot.
Stunning. Yeah.
They're hot.
Yeah,
and they would come in and, they would convince Dr. So-and-so that he should, prescribe their particular drug. And he would listen because he wanted to look down her blouse, but that's about the extent of doctors.
You're bullshitting yourself if you think that they're not complicit.
Well, there are doctors. You can go online. There is a site where you can find out exactly how much money your doctor was paid by pharmaceutical companies, not to prescribe drugs, but to do services for the drug companies, such as give speeches.
Including junkets?
Speeches, no, I don't think junkets were on there, but speeches and things like that. And there are some doctors who made like $1 million a year off the pharmaceutical companies.
Wow.
Yeah. But,
well, there are a number of, I have a friend in the dental sales business, and they get dentists to put on seminars that I believe that other dentists pay for it, but it's continuing education. And, they get it. They get the dentists that are familiar with.
Well, all I'm saying is what you're saying is that everybody's complicit with everybody else. I think the main complicity is with the drug companies themselves and what they've been doing to evade government regulation. I mean, the whole problem with the OxyContin and so on has to do with the fact that the government wasn't watching them closely enough, and they were getting away with shit. And it wasn't the doctors who were doing that. Although it was
not. They're not the ones that prescribe the shit to the users.
Well, here's the problem, and I heard about this from one doctor that I was talking to. People come into him and they go, I'm really nervous. I need, and then they would name the drug. And the doctor said, I now have a choice. Do I give him the drug he wants? Or do I deny him the drug he wants and lose a patient?
Well, I had a surgery
and so
today.
it's the advertising on television that has really changed a lot of this. This is the only country in the world outside of, I think New Zealand's the other one, believe it or not, where advertising for drugs are allowed. No other country allows them, Phil. No other country.
That's because they are on Adderall and they go have a psychotic episode and shoot the place up. But
I see.
The thing about the drugs is I had a surgery today. I came back from diving and I felt this thing on my back, and it turns out it was a cyst. And it was right between my shoulder blades on my spine. And so when I'd sit back, it hurt and it was infected. So they lanced it. And so...
well, that's major surgery.
Well, yeah, it was.
Well, when you said I had surgery today, I figured maybe they, give you a prefrontal lobotomy or something like that.
I was actually joking about that. But so I said to her, how about Valium? And she says, "Nah, you're not gonna, no Valium." I said, "Well, I don't like Vicodin. Valium is, I like Valium, but no, they wouldn't give it up."
Oh, well, but see that's the problem. I don't understand all the lawsuits and everything against like the drug makers of the pain medication, because like you guys were talking earlier about the advertisements. I don't know, maybe I've missed it, but I've never seen a magazine advertisement or a television commercial for those kinds of drugs. It's always for the depression ones and the
I see
sexual things, but I've never seen a commercial that says, come get you some fucking Percocets, and those are the drugs I think we should give them fuckers out for free. But
those drugs, they don't advertise. You're quite right. I can't remember seeing an ad for like, Xanax or whatever.
But those are the people that are getting sued for, similar to the tobacco makers, basically for, and I keep reading these articles about, marketing their drugs in certain ways to and upping the dosages and everything, to which
I can't remember which company I can't remember which company makes OxyContin. It might be Bayer or it might be Eli Lilly. I can't remember who.
Bayer just got sued for
what they're saying about OxyContin is for the longest time they mislabeled it, so that they would sell more.
It was called cotton balls.
No, I mean, they mislabeled. On the label, you have to say all the contradictions and things like that. Yeah. And they were lying about a lot of it. They were hedging it, and that's not allowed.
60 Minutes about a month ago.
What? That. How many?
About a month ago on 60 Minutes.
They had
about that.
It's amazing what's in the stuff they sell us. I was on that scuba trip, and a couple of guys they were very intelligent guys, and we were talking about deodorant. And they said, "Oh, well, you don't want to use a deodorant that has this glycol stuff in it." And so I looked this morning, and mine does. You know what that is? It's antifreeze.
Yeah.
And it gives you cancer.
No, it's not antifreeze. It's used in antifreeze.
Yeah, but
because it keeps things from freezing.
the armpits to freeze.
Yeah, and you don't want to get What are you going to get? Armpit cancer from it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something glycol is it's cancer causing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
How often do you use a deodorant?
Every morning.
I never use a deodorant. Yeah. I do something which may sound unusual. It may sound unusual, Phil. May sound unusual, but I found that if you take a shower, you don't need the deodorant.
Well, I use it right after the shower, which I take every morning.
Yeah. So,
wow. It's I don't use a cologne, and the deodorant has a pleasant smell.
Really?
I just don't. I don't know. There's just a lot of kind of a movement to sort of equate the pain medication drug makers as perpetrating the same kind of fraud as the tobacco companies. And I don't know. I just have never seen the massive campaign for pain medication that you saw with
tobacco,
cigarettes. And we certainly never tried to get 12-year-olds hooked on pain medication. I don't know. Just some of the regulations with the pain medication, like you were talking about, you can go to the doctor and, "Oh, I feel this, and I'd really love to try this." And like you said, they'll almost always give it to you.
But
if you go in there and you legitimately are in pain, I mean, legitimately, I need some fucking pain medication. "Oh, no, you'll be fine. Just take some fucking ibuprofen, which barely kills a fucking cat. I mean, give me a fucking break,
Well,
I'll tell you. I got to tell you something. I got to tell you, Marjorie has these ibuprofen she gets, which she gets by prescription, which are 800s. 800s. And I use those all the time. I mean, they are strong ibuprofen. Really will solve a problem better than some painkillers will.
But you're not supposed to snort it.
I wasn't snorting it, Phil.
Okay, then smoking it. But Josh,
by the way, is anybody out there going to call tonight? I mean, last night Phil wasn't here, and we filled up.
No, you had 9 at one point.
I had 9 at one point. Oh, geez. Yeah. Oh, you were checking, huh?
Well, yeah.
You were checking in to see, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, when you're not here, people like to call.
Well, it's the same people, except what's his name in Berkeley, Tom, and I don't think he dislikes calling when I'm.
Oh,
on.
yes, he does.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, he does.
Because I'm always respectful to him.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with it. Your opinions drive him nuts.
Well, I guess he's not capable of listening to other people's opinions.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah, as long as they're the same of his own, as his own.
That's correct. And that's as it should be, because his opinions are correct.
Well, hey, I guess you're preaching to the choir, but
here comes Charlene
Justice
Martinez,
Bennett
by the
knows.
way. Charlene is joining us. She's out there. Hi, Charlene. How are you?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
My eyeliner's all over my face, but I
That's
didn't feel very
that's
well
just
today.
like a woman. Oh, my eyeliner. I'll tell you what happened. You want to hear about? We were talking about drugs. So Marjorie comes home. I have the worst pain. I've had this horrible pain. It's like from right here, up around the bottom of my chest, down to my abdomen, and I've just been in pain all day. And she said, "Do you have anything I could take?" Well, I said, there's ibuprofen. You could do that. And then I said, well, why don't you try a couple of antacids? So I gave her 3 Tums, or Kirkland version of Tums, their antacid, and she chewed them, and it went away.
Did she eat anything, or is she still having the issue with her esophagus? Didn't she have?
No, she had that operated on. She hasn't had acid reflux in several years now.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that, Alex? How did I miss the surgery she got for that?
Oh, that was surgery number 57 while we've been married. No, that was she had. There's a flap you have, and if the flap stays open more than it shuts, you get acid reflux, and you get it terribly. Now, the reason you don't want acid reflux is not only do you get heartburn, but you can get esophageal cancer. In fact, the woman who willed me her pictures died of esophageal cancer from acid reflux.
Yeah, because I'm looking into that now.
So she had the operation,
surgery, yeah.
And since then, she has not had one single case of acid reflux.
Wow.
The older I get, I was having some acid reflux problems, but I was eating things that caused the acid reflux. And once I stopped doing that, it went away. When I was a kid, old people used to say, let me have some hot water and lemon. And, they didn't want coffee. And now I know why they didn't want coffee, because, they couldn't handle it.
Well, now, a few days ago, our dear friend Kevin here had an operation. And much like Robert Kraft, he's now waiting for somebody to come by and turn him on. So.
Well, yeah, but Robert Kraft, aren't they going to give him? They're going to let him go as long as he admits to his wrongdoing.
Yeah, but no. Kevin went out and had a thing implanted in his back, which is supposed to help do away with pain, and they haven't turned it on yet. So.
Mm.
Yeah.
And there's a control outside the body, right?
What?
Like you control the thing from outside the
No,
body.
they have to break the stitches open, go inside with their hands, flip a switch, and then close them up again. Putting it.
Do you have rabbit ears?
He's got a zipper there. Is what he's got. No,
he has to wear rabbit ears now to increase the signal.
And you'll have a little remote control, won't you? That you can operate it and make it feel better and make it. If you're hurting.
Yeah. Show us.
Yeah.
It's over there somewhere. Yeah, I was going to show it to you, but it's over there.
It's wireless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling? You feeling better? I mean, you
a little better today.
Yeah. But
I actually went to a government meeting downtown for what I thought was going to be an hour that turned into 3 hours.
Oh, really? So you're getting out there. I mean, you're not.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be out that long.
I mean, I see you here in the big comfy chair, and I just figure that's where you've been sitting all the time now,
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, really? Okay.
Pretty much.
Did they give you pain pills?
Oh, I already had some.
Yeah.
They didn't need to issue them to me because I already had them.
Now, what kind were you? What kind were you doing? Because we were talking about pain medication.
Yeah, I heard you.
But what you have to do, to keep your pain medication, I'm telling you right now, I'm not joking. Fucking pain pills are regulated 10 times more than fucking guns are.
Oh,
I mean,
yes, right. You're right. Very good point.
I know what you have to do to get fucking pain pills, and the easiest fucking thing you can do is buy them from a fucking drug dealer. I'm fucking sorry.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of doctors.
You got to understand. When I lost my pain doctor, what was it, about a year and a half, 2 years ago? It was probably 2 years ago. When my pain doctor decided to leave and go to England because all this crap that started. I don't know why he left. He just upped and said, "I'm not going to be in the business anymore. I'm leaving the country," and I don't know why, but
yeah.
He audited his triple scripts.
He put me in a hell of a bind because I had to go to my regular doctor, and he started saying that I couldn't do it, and then all of a sudden I'm going to another doctor, and he said, "Okay, I'll do it, but I'll only do it for 30 days at a time, and I'm only going to do it for this." And then he said, "I can't keep doing this." And then around town here, I think we had somewhere about 10 or 11 doctors that got busted. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I couldn't get nothing done in town here, so I had to go 30 miles away to another doctor. Yeah. And now I have to take piss tests.
Yeah.
I have to take
pill count.
I have to sign contracts.
You're kidding me. That's what goes on now?
I have to count pills, and I do that, and I do all that, and I'm legal.
Does Marjorie have you the pain pills? They want to know where all the pills have gone.
Does Marjorie have to go through a similar thing because of some of the stuff that
she has a pain? She has actually a pain doctor who gives her the drugs, but he monitors her and doesn't allow her to use more than so much, and she's been very good at it. But here I've got this sleeping pill. It's blue, and I'm trying to remember what it is. There are several of them.
Say Viagra on it?
No.
Cialis.
No, it's sleeping pills. The blue one. What is it? I forget.
Xanax?
Adderall?
No, Xanax is not a sleeping pill, although I use it for that.
What are those ones you take all the time?
Ambien, that's what this is. No, this isn't Ambien. Right. This is the other one. Ambien makes me mean and nasty.
Oh, Klonopin?
No. But anyway, I got these at my local Walgreens community, which is a pharmacy-only Walgreens that gives me 3 months' worth of drugs at a time. This, they would only give me 1 month, and they would only give me half of the 30. Every 15 days. And I'm going, what do you think I'm going to do? Swallow the whole fucking bottle?
No, they think you're going to sell them.
Right.
You know, I mean,
that's what I'm saying is it's easier to fucking buy a gun than it is to buy fucking pain medication.
Maybe
I can go buy 12 fucking guns probably, tomorrow. But if I wanted one fucking bottle of fucking 12 pain pills, they'd be like,
what state are you in again?
You're a criminal.
Are you in Ohio? Or?
But it's the same thing here. Doctors are afraid. Doctors are afraid of prescribing pain pills because they're afraid of the government coming after them. They have too much. In other words, they don't want any red flags going up. And rather than take a chance, they would rather Marjorie go to a pain doctor to get her pain medication than to just write it up.
You have to over a certain time, but like Kevin was saying, if something happens to that guy, you're screwed. I mean, because, my father-in-law, for example, has had 3 back surgeries.
Yeah.
I mean, all legit, paid for by his work company and everything. And his pain doctor, so he's been on, Percocets and Vicodins for, 2 decades. And so he's basically a person that he cannot stop taking them. I mean, you can't take those kinds of pills for, 15 or 20 years and then just fucking stop. You just can't do it. I mean, so his pain doctor closed one time just out of the blue. I don't even remember what happened, but he literally, he went for his appointment and there was a sign on the door that said, we're not open anymore. So he goes home and he calls around to some of the other pain doctors, and we happen to be over there. And he's fucking dying. And he's like, I have got to, you don't understand. I've got to get them renewed. And every pain doctor he talked to is like, well, we can see you in 2 weeks. We can see you in 9 days.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't understand. I cannot go that long without him. And he finally told one person on the phone, you do understand when I hang up, I'm going to go to a drug dealer and I'm going to buy some fucking pills. And they're like, sir, that's your business, not ours.
Can he go to an
And that is
emergency
exactly what he fucking did. Matter of fact,
Josh?
I went and bought the fucking pills for him because I got the hookup. But it's
Could he have gone to an emergency room?
No.
Perhaps. And sat for about 6 hours. And they'll
It's
give
better than
you
2
like
weeks.
3 or 4 fucking pills to get you through the night, maybe. And
they won't give you.
That's it.
Yeah, and you might have to hurt yourself to do it.
Exactly.
Well, you know, my question is, whatever happened to the ability of the doctor to do what's right for his patient?
That's the problem.
You know, the fact is, you want to hear something really weird? Every year I would go and I would get a blood draw at my doctor to get my yearly, you know, workup, right? Now, if I want to, like my urologist says, I want you to get another PSA test. I have to go. He can't do it. It has to be done at a clinic, at a place that that does this for a business, a lab. So I have to go to a lab now to get that blood test done because except for the one I get a year that my doctor can draw at his office, if he had to draw a second draw at his office, no, I'd have to go down to the lab to have it done.
Yeah.
What's that bullshit? Also, when I had my colonoscopy the first couple of times I had it, it was in my doctor's office. He had himself a little gurney and he had his nurse and he had the propofol and he put me to sleep and, did the whole thing. This time I had to go to a hospital, and not a hospital, but a facility for operating. And I said to him, what'd you do? You didn't want to do it in your office anymore? He says, I can't. By law, we can't do it in our office anymore.
Right.
We have to use these clinics. And you know what one of those clinics was? The place where Joan Rivers died. Okay? In fact, Marjorie went to have a colonoscopy a couple of months back, and I pull up to where I'm supposed to pick her up, and it's the fucking Joan Rivers Memorial Clinic, where she died.
Be getting a laryngectomy, I think.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what you're saying is that the cartels are doing a public service for pain medication distribution.
You bet your life they are. Yeah. No, yes, Kevin. Yes, Kevin.
Yeah, and going back, at one point, one of my doctors actually told me maybe it'd be easier for you to just go get a marijuana card and start doing pot.
Well, what about the CBD oil they talk about?
No,
CBD is a little easier, but
CBD may actually be a complete lie and false thing. But they are selling CBD at CVS. Starting, but it's not the internal stuff. It's the stuff, lotions and potions and rubs and.
There's a guy that's selling CBD in jelly beans. He was one of the founders, I think, of Jelly Belly.
Michael Klein is joining us. Michael, you've called us before, haven't you?
Huh?
Michael Klein.
How you doing, Alex? Been a while.
You've called us before, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a camera? Do you have a camera?
Is my camera not on?
No.
I haven't used Skype in a million years.
Oh, well, go down to where there's a picture of a camera and click on that. If you can. There we go. See, now it's whirling around. There you are. Hello, Michael. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I got my radio mic.
Wow,
really?
nice.
Oh, it sounds good.
But,
I want one of those.
And a spit shield.
Talking about indigestion, I had to call in.
Oh, okay.
It's Alex's waiting room.
Well, wait a minute. Before we go to that, though, Charlene, you have your hand up?
Well, no, I had an issue. I was going to bring up right before Phil jumped in with the CBD. I was going to bring it up. Like, I don't know what I have. I know I had carpal tunnel and all these things, and I could have arthritis or something. I haven't been diagnosed properly yet. But my hands today, it's raining like crazy.
Yeah.
And my hands are painful.
Yeah, I
want to go out to the mall.
Yeah.
Where they have they had testers for the CBD oil, because I don't believe that the CBD. I'm going to test it.
There's very good empirical evidence that it doesn't work.
How come all these people that take it say it does?
Because it's
$150.
Yeah, and I'll make up. I'll tell you, I'll make up a little potion here at home, and I'll charge you $50, and you rub it on your arthritis, and I'll bet you feel better.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Of course, it's just going to be some balsamic vinaigrette and oil. Yes, and you'll smell like an Italian restaurant. But what the hell? Yes, Michael.
Oh, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
And a glass of wine. How classy!
It takes a while to find the right
from Australia.
CBD, but the CBD, some of it does.
Are you call? You say you're calling from Australia?
No. The wine is.
Oh, the wine's from Australia. Okay. You're where,
Where's
Michael?
he calling from now? Where?
No,
I'm in La La Land.
In Los Angeles.
You don't hear me.
Oh, we hear you.
Well, congratulations. Your state,
We're just ignoring.
Your state now is going to be execution free for a while.
Yeah, I don't think I like that.
Why?
I think we need to get rid of these jerks. And I think by now, that if they were supposedly innocent, they'd be freed by now. And there's enough, ACLU type places that are, helping
appealing
innocent and the DNA get through. I think they. I mean, apparently I didn't realize that the previous governor was against this too. So it's about time to get.
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is, Michael. Especially in California, they've got them backed up. I mean, there may be 800 people on death row now.
Yeah.
Because in spite of the fact that they know that they're probably never going to get executed, people put them on death row anyway. And the problem is it costs a fortune to execute somebody. It really does. It's cheaper to
more than keeping them here.
Yes. Between all the legal things the state has to do to continue to prosecute, and also the execution itself, the amount of money that they're going to spend on that prisoner trying to get him into that death chamber is considerably more than they would spend on him if he just stayed in prison for the rest of his natural life. So
give them some heroin. They'll probably take care of it themselves.
Well, it's become a big expense for the state of California. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to keep them in those prisons, and then they also emptied out the prisons a lot of non-violent people because the state of California just couldn't afford its penal system.
Well, they privatized a lot of it, and people are making a lot of money.
I don't know. Do they privatize that much in California?
I believe they have. I know a guy that makes a fortune.
In Victorville.
Yeah.
That's private.
Oh, Victorville, the home of the Roy Rogers Museum.
That's right. The hub of the West.
It's also the home of the British Williams plant.
No, the hub of the West is Oakland.
I thought it changed.
That's the armpit of the West.
No, Oakland.
The big news story here in LA is the Disney purchase of Fox and thousands of people being laid off today.
Yeah, how many people got laid off? I saw.
I know eventually it's going to be 6,000, but most the Fox lot, they're closing the Fox lot in Century City. So it's I mean, some big mucky mucks are being laid off.
Well, because what's happened is, let me explain to people, Disney bought up Fox, not Fox News. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch still owns. It's and it's all under a new. They used to be what was it? Fox. It was News. The company used to be called News Corp. It's now being called Fox Corp. And the rest of it was bought up by Disney. The FX channel, the Fox television network,
all of their movies, all of their TV shows,
right? And Disney is throwing a lot of it out with the bathwater. I mean, of course, they're going to keep Fox TV network on, and they want all the rights to Family Guy and all the stuff that's on Fox because they can see what they're going to do next year is they're starting a Disney channel, a Disney pay channel, and all the stuff they own is going to be on there. So you're going to get all the old episodes of Family Guy are going there, and all the old episodes of whatever program you liked on Fox is going to be there, and the FX shows.
Disney movies are going to be on there.
And if they upload all the back episodes of The Simpsons, it'll crash the internet.
Yep. They got
that was
they'll have that. all I'm saying is the reason, and Disney, I really think that was the hookup that I didn't think should have taken place. I mean, I think Disney owns too much already. If you think about it, what have they got now? They've got all the Star Wars franchise,
ABC.
Pixar. They've got all the Marvel stuff. Okay, I mean
Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilm, but I'm saying Star Wars, the Star Wars stuff.
Charlene's right, isn't she? Don't they own ABC too?
They own ABC.
Yes.
They own
ABC?
They own a part of ESPN.
Right, which has always been which
they just gave up.
That's why they couldn't buy Fox Broadcasting, because there would be too many stations. So they gave up the Fox Broadcasting.
They also gave up $71 billion.
Well, I think Murdoch didn't want to get rid of Fox News or the TV stations because he wanted to keep those. That he believed in, and there are going to be some changes over there. It looks like Hannity, when his contract is up next year, is going to be gone.
He'll probably go to Blaze TV.
No,
I keep getting these.
Blaze is having problems everywhere.
Yeah. I don't live one of the loops.
Well, you got 3.
Wait,
How do I know?
wait a minute. Hold on a second. Kevin's put yourself on mute there, Kevin. Yeah, good. What was I saying?
You said something about Blaze TV.
Oh, Blaze TV, yeah. They took him off FiOS here and all FiOS stations across the country, and he's having carriage problems, really. So, and he can't afford Hannity, So, but Hannity is, and it also there's a feeling that the Murdochs want to get out of the conservative TV business.
I know the Sons do.
The Sons absolutely want to. Lachlan, who is running, I think, the place, is kind of he's not a conservative. He's a libertarian.
Libertarian.
Yeah. The other brother is a left winger. So it's kind of like there's going to be a lot of changes at Fox. Okay, and Fox News. But we're talking about the Disney takeover of the Fox properties. And as you say, they got rid of all those people,
Yeah. I'm trying to find the article.
I mean, I saw somewhere, it just went past my eye fast, I think maybe on my watch, and it just said massive layoffs at Fox. And this is like, wait a minute. Do you know when Disney took over Fox?
No.
Yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yesterday, and today they're letting go of thousands and thousands of people.
They're giving him apparently 2 years severance, 1 to 2 years severance.
Well, who are they giving 1 to 2 years severance? Everybody?
It doesn't really. It says a lot of them.
I mean, they're probably people.
2 years off work with pay. There's going to be a lot of new drug addicts out there. You have a lot of fun in 2 years of fucking
But the problem is, though, that eventually you are going to have to look for work.
Yeah, but we can put that off for at least a year and 11 months. I mean,
Now, is that severance, or is that just money they're going to give you as long as you're not working? Don't go to work for somebody else.
It says staffers. One bright spot for staffers is generous severance packages. Many of the people cut on Thursday will get between 1 year and 2 years' pay.
Okay.
Probably salaried people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was
better than the deal you got at Sirius.
Oh, I got a great deal at Sirius. What do you mean? 15 weeks severance after working there for 9 years? Yeah, that was really nice. All
right.
Yeah, and if I said anything disparaging about them, they wouldn't give it to me if I didn't sign a thing saying that I wouldn't file charges against them for age discrimination.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, you're getting rid of Albert, too. Are you having him sign this? And they said, no. I said, this is ageism. You're having me sign it because of my age. So obviously you are getting rid of me because of my age. No. But just sign that. Say, but we won't give you your severance unless you sign that.
Yeah.
You ought to take them to
So
court.
I went.
They promised you a lunch.
No. So I went and said I would sign it. I said, but I knew to myself that if I went into a court of law and said they told me they wouldn't give me the severance unless I signed it, that was under duress.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
and, don't they owe you a lunch?
Oh no, my boss said, yeah. Well, after a couple of months, give us a call and let's go out and have lunch. We'd like.
Well, that was part of the separation deal. I think that
you
may have some damages.
No. I was thinking they never called back and had lunch with me, and I was thinking now it's 6 years of just writing my ex-program director a little note saying. Just writing him and saying, "Oh, about that lunch. Never mind, I've eaten already." Yeah, I mean,
I hear Howard talk about you every once in a while.
Does he? Oh, yeah, he did talk about me one day. I heard something like that, and I can't remember what it was.
He said he grew up listening to you.
Did he finally admit to that?
Yeah.
He also said he grew up with something else. I didn't say that.
And Imus.
Yeah.
Oh, Imus. No, not
Yeah,
Imus.
well, I gotta tell Howard something. He ain't that young that he was listening to me growing up.
Exactly.
You know.
I know he's older
He
than
was
me.
listening to me.
minute.
He was listening to me when he was starting radio, so he could do what I did.
Up.
What?
I started listening to you when I was 16 at WMCA. So, Howard is younger than me.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be 65.
He's about 65.
Okay, so he could have.
Howard is in his
4, I think.
No, I don't think.
What'd you say?
Hey Siri, how old is Howard Stern?
63, 64,
65.
65.
Okay, yeah.
I listen to Alex on Live 105.
Yeah. You listen to me on Live 105 in San Francisco. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is now Alt 105.
Yeah. And WPLJ, where I worked here for about 6 years on radio in New York, WPLJ.
That's where I was.
And I met you when you
has just been sold to a religious organization.
They didn't keep you?
Who's going to turn it into church music?
What was Live 105 before that when you were with Joe Rogalski? Rogalski?
He was on.
Oh, Joe Rogalski. Joe Rogalski was with me at the Quake. He couldn't follow me to Live 105 because he was still under contract, and I was being bought out. Okay, so they kind of separated us, and I couldn't take him with me to it was the Quake. I couldn't take him to Live 105. So they had a newswoman named Lori Thompson, and they said, "Would you like to give her a chance? She's been doing the morning show." And I said, "I don't want to put anybody out of work." So, and she became my newswoman and my sidekick for the better part of 11 years.
Yeah, Lori was great. I have a photo of her sitting on the pot doing the newscast.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that Joe Rogalski is in Mendocino?
Yeah, no, he's in what's that town up there?
It's up there though.
It's not Mendocino. It's another one.
Kaya?
No, starts with an M.
No. You're thinking no. It's not Mendocino. It's
said?
No, it's up north of Marin.
Northern Marin.
No, it's not northern
on the
Marin.
coast.
No, it's way up. It's way up.
Yeah.
It's up.
It's in California.
It may be in Mendocino, but I'm trying to remember what the name of the
Eureka?
station is. I think it might be Eureka. Yeah. But anyway, he went to work up there, and I'm
glad he's still working.
I talked to him about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we hadn't spoken.
Did you hear that Mark Thompson took over Ron Owen's spot on KGO?
Huh? Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember, he used to do the weather up there.
Yeah. Well, they probably have him coming from some other station where he's doing the show there too.
Yeah, because I thought he was down in L.A. or something.
Yeah,
he was on KFI, but he's moving to San Fran.
Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's still doing it at KFI.
Yeah, he's probably doing a.
What's
he's only doing KFI one night a week.
Well, anyway, the KGO is a lost cause now. as a radio station.
Yeah, they've gone downhill.
Now, Joe Rogelski's at a radio station called The Coast FM.
Yes.
KOZT.
Yeah.
I can't see what city.
It's Weed. No, not Weed. Not Weed.
It's inland.
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. There is a city up in Northern California called Weed. It's almost right at the border.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt from the fire department, Weed Fire Department.
Yeah. And I had a friend who owned a movie theater in Weed, and I used to go up there, and he taught me. I learned, it was a whole thing. I learned how to run projectors and change reels and things like that. Yeah,
I used to do that at Cal State Long Beach.
Yeah,
projectionist.
Yeah. Remember when you had the dots on the yeah,
and you have a hand on one projector, a hand on the other projector, and you see the dots.
I thought it was.
What you do is
it was a circle
30 seconds.
And it flashed.
Yeah, 30 seconds before you get a flash. Then at 10 seconds, you get another dot, and you start both the projectors. And when you see the third dot come up 10 seconds later, boom, you switch projectors.
Yep.
You could fuck that up really easily if you didn't know what you were doing, you know. But anyway, so we're in the midst of the Mueller probe is almost wrapping up.
Now, do you think something really is going to come out of this, or is we already know everything, and there's not going to be any surprises? Trump's not going to get impeached, and it's just going to.
Well, I think what's going to happen is I think that it's going to be there's a good chance it could go either way. They could say we didn't find as much as we thought there was there, and or it may come out that the president's committee to elect him was canoodling with the Russians. We're losing your head, Charlene. What's happening?
I know. It's the phone thing.
Yeah.
I need a holder.
Yeah, you should get a holder or something.
The LA Times had an article the other day about what we know now already.
Yeah.
And there's tons of indictments already, and I don't know what more they're going to be able to show the collusion in Russia.
Well, I don't think that Mueller was setting out to prove anything. He was out to find out what went on. Okay? And if there was Russian collusion in the election, from wherever that might have come from, it might not have come from the president. It might not have come from his committee, but it was there. What was the depth of all of
came from
this?
Hillary Clinton and the DNC.
No,
that's where it came from.
Oh, okay, Phil. Good. I'm glad you solved that one for us.
They paid for the dossier.
I see. They paid for the dossier. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Drink the Kool-Aid, Phil. Drink the Kool-Aid. Anyway. I don't know the way it's going to come out. I think that however it comes out, supposedly the president is ready with his side of the story, so to speak.
Oh, I'm sure he has his tweets written already.
Oh yeah,
I don't think William Barr is going to, acquiesce to Trump's wishes. I think he's an upstanding guy with a lifetime doing the right thing. And he's going to do the right thing, no matter what
I disagree
wants.
with you. There was every indication that he would be Trump's little lapdog because of what Trump had to say the other day. Oh, sure, if it comes out, I want everything released. Of course, that's going to be up to Barr.
It's the truth.
And that made wait a minute. And that made me think. Yeah, he's saying I'm all for everything coming out, but he knows the Barr is going to stonewall a lot of it.
No, you're reading things into
this. Well,
this.
we'll see. We'll see what happens, Phil.
No
have no basis in fact.
Let Barr do that.
We'll
it
see.
has no basis in fact.
We'll see what happens. It has basis in fact.
Okay, Chief.
Because the president is a lying fuck. We know that. You even know he's a liar.
No, I just think he has his side of the story.
I see.
No? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and I suppose your attitude about Hitler is he was just cranky now and then.
No, but you know, Trump is as clean as driven snow.
Yeah.
Come on, even Dennis Miller admits Trump's a liar.
Somehow I feel that if Hitler had met you before he met all the other Jews, he would have gone easier on them.
No, I would have been armed.
He would have been satisfied. Anyway, no, you know, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I hope that we find that he had his finger in the cookie jar and we got him dead to rights. And I don't say impeach him. I say just put him on, you know, timeout. You know.
And if they don't have anything and they don't find anything on him, are you going to support his?
Do you think that's
efforts?
going to happen, Phil?
Yes, I do.
What do you?
No. There is a middle ground. It's not, you know, black or white. Either they won't find anything or they'll find everything. I think they're going to find a few things that really implicate him. And you know what? You know, I think it's going to put his 2020 campaign on notice.
Yeah.
Well, with the people that are on the Democratic side that are going to try to run against him, I have a feeling we have another.
I think
Trump.
Kamala Harris, if she just flashes a tit, will win that election.
I was going to ask you, Alex. I really like Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I do.
Who's going to be your running mate?
But also I like Klobuchar too. Klobuchar is very smart. You know, you know, it's too early. You know, they say Joe Biden is thinking of what's her name, the woman who lost for governor.
Abrams.
Stacey Abrams. So he's thinking of announcing that if he announces his run for the office, that he's going to say that he's going to make Stacey Abrams his vice president.
And
everybody's saying this is a little early, isn't it? You know,
that's pandering to, you know, and stereo. I think that's as racist as you can get.
Well, as I said last night, you know, the idea that people get asked the question, would you put a woman in there? Would you put a black person in there? No, I'm going to put the best person who can do the job. And if it's another white guy like me, then it's going to be another white guy like me. And if it's a woman, then it will be a woman. And if it's a black guy, it'll be a black guy.
That is the correct answer.
I just think that anything else is pandering and being racist and sexist.
I can't wait till he starts making more gaffes. You know, I mean, he started gaffes already. You know, I'm the most.
I'm going to make an outside prediction here. I'm going to make and it's a real outside prediction. I don't think he's going to run.
Biden?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think he's going to look at all of this and say, my chances aren't that great, you know, because I'm in a field that's very progressive, which is what the party wants right now, and I don't fit that category. Plus, I've got years and years and years of baggage. All they have to show is him at the hearings with what's her name, the Supreme Court hearings with
Thomas,
Clarence Thomas,
Anita Hill,
Anita Hill. All they have to do is show him in the Anita Hill thing, and he's lost all the women in America.
You know, the other thing is that Joe Biden has a lot of baggage, like you said. And
he has a lot of baggage because he has a lot of years of public service.
Right.
Okay.
Trump is going to rip him every side but Tuesday. You know, there's no way.
Trump has more baggage in the last 2 years than Biden will ever have.
Yes, you're right. You're
Trump
absolutely right.
Trump has been doing everything he said he would do.
No, he did everything. Yes,
you don't like it.
And the reason people voted for him is they said, he won't do that. Yeah.
No, you said he won't do that. I was happy he did it. That's what I.
Oh yeah, you're happy your taxes are going to go up this year, Phil?
You know, he's doing what he did was he made things, I believe, more simple because he lowered the tax rates, but he got rid of a number of loopholes. You know, our tax system.
So it all comes out even, doesn't it, Phil?
For what? The rich?
No, for everyone.
No.
Everybody got a
Phil.
tax rate
No.
reduction.
No, people are going to their accountants and coming out crying.
Yeah, especially the ones in New York that are paying such high taxes. How do you like those high taxes? The property taxes that are now capped at what, $10,000?
Hey, you know, the only place I get money back from anymore is the state, not the Fed.
Oh.
And the state, I get back a couple of thousand every year.
Well, you don't own any property.
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, no, well, that's true.
We do own property.
Marjorie owns
Absolutely.
a piece of property.
Yeah, well,
I'm
that's
scared
us.
now about my
Yeah.
taxes.
But all you can do is depreciate that because it's a rental.
No, you don't depreciate it all. There's only so much you can do.
Over 40 years, I think.
Yeah. We're going to live that long?
Well,
That's the government's hoping not.
Yeah,
you know, that's why they're.
But the point I'm making, Phil, is
went up in Trump's new plan. My taxes went up dramatically.
A bunch of people's taxes went up.
Can you give us an idea of how they went up? Wait a minute. Can you give us an idea how they went up? How much they went up, or what?
For me personally, about $4,000 or $5,000.
Did you make more money?
No.
You have a payment.
There was Trump got rid of the non-reimbursed business expenses, employee business expenses, which is what I used being an employee, and now I'm no longer able to do that. So I had to incorporate, and now that I'm incorporated, a lot of my clients, they would rather pay me as an employee than a corporation because of apparently the IRS is going after employers. Because some of these
miscategorizing as an employee, as a 1099.
Well, they're playing. I mean, like I said, I'm incorporated. I pay myself a salary, but apparently, if they find out that this person wasn't paying any taxes, they can go after the employer.
Well, there's a number of points that if you meet those things, you are truly a 1099. A person, and if you don't, then you're a W-2 employee. Do you have a service that you totally provide and is independent of the company? Do they buy you business cards? Do they give you a uniform? Do they tell you when to show up and where to go and what to do?
No.
Then you're an independent contractor.
Oh.
Yes, Charlene.
Well, since it's a tax clinic here, it's an accountant office now. I was just thinking about this. Like, if you sell on eBay, supposedly I heard now that you're like a 1099, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if you sell like $1,000 worth of stuff on eBay? The IRS is going to get a copy. You're going to get a copy. But what do they do to you if you sold on eBay and you didn't report it, like on your taxes?
Well, what do you mean?
Audited?
How are they going to get your information? You make a sale to somebody, and they're going to get your EIN number, or they're going to get your Social Security
eBay
number.
Reports your income.
No. That's what I hear. That like you'll get a report of what you sell per year on eBay. eBay keeps track of it. Like,
oh, well, they're coming for you, Charlene.
Well, they're coming for me, yeah, because whatever. I worked in taxes, and anything over $10, if you get a 1099. They get a 1099, the IRS, and they could audit you on that. You're
not supposed to get a 1099.
$600.
$600. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, it's $600, not 10 for 1099.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, are you talking about if you sell something on eBay, you have to pay taxes on the money you make off of that, and absolutely the government wants taxes on anything you make. Okay,
but I don't think eBay is reporting
money.
A sale.
What if you bought something for $1,000 and you sell it for $700, which is usually the case with anything I sell on eBay?
Well, you're very bad at that.
Yeah, of course I am. Either that or I sell it to you.
And Letgo doesn't report or something. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and then it immediately breaks. So I mean, so I get to take it off my taxes.
Yeah, well, but, I did send you that rug. If you rub it, it'll grow.
Yeah, it's over here. Marjorie's using it, actually.
But that's how, like,
we've just been joined by Patrick, who's here for a few moments. Hi, Patrick.
I told you I would call.
Yeah.
I told you I would call, so...
Yep. Yeah. You're a man of your word.
I try to be. I had a bunch of shit happen again tonight, and... I still managed 10 minutes in there at least call. So.
Would you spill something?
Actually, it very similar. I was in the shower, and the shower curtain wasn't quite where it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And basically a little bit of a pool in my bathroom where my wheelchair sits. So I got to try to wheel out, like wheeling on ice. And then,
pardon me for laughing, but I'm thinking about it now. With you trying to move the wheels and they're just turning around but not going anywhere.
That's why I said like ice, because it's a good visual. You can imagine what it's like. So I had to kind of shimmy my way onto dry tiles and then wipe it up and all that. So anyway, I'm here for a couple minutes and then I'll aggravate Jack.
He'll aggravate Jack. No, the only one that can really aggravate him is Phil. And then his voice goes up about 10 octaves. Yeah.
He always wants to fight.
Starts sweating.
Let's go outside and duke this out.
Well,
off my lawn.
But we'll see what happens with the whole Trump thing. I am not I'm not expecting that it's necessarily going to be horrible for Trump, but I think even if it's only mildly critical of Trump, he's going to go apoplectic.
No, I think he's going to go after everybody that accused him and say, "See, nothing."
Well, what he's going to do is this thing could say, "Yes, we got the guy dead to rights. We saw him blowing a Russian diplomat," and he will somehow parse it by saying, "See, I was exonerated. All I did was blow a diplomat."
Exactly.
And that's not collusion. That's not collusion.
This John McCain stuff, I wish he dropped that.
The McCain stuff is really
on something, Phil. This is silly. He's attacking a dead man.
Well, okay, the guy voted against his repeal and replace, and he said some disparaging things. It's done.
But he's talking like he's still with us or something.
The guy was a hero, and now he might have been shot down, but he spent all those years in a prison camp.
He was shot down because he's a loser.
No, but when he was offered the ability, because his dad was an admiral, to go home, he said he wouldn't go unless the other ones went. The man is a hero in my eyes.
Yeah, he was.
I don't agree with him on what he did, but he was a hero.
Well, I years ago when I was talking about McCain, I said, what was he ever famous for? I guess he was famous for getting caught, or being, his plane coming down. He lost 2 planes, by the way, in his time. He was not good with government.
Probably one of those Boeing Max.
He was not good with government issue. Yes, Patrick.
I wasn't going to bring up McCain, but the other thing that I wish that Trump would get grow up on is Kellyanne Conway's husband. Nobody's ever heard of that guy. Nobody gives a shit what their infighting is. And Trump, you got Kellyanne defending the president, saying what expect him to do when he's called mentally unstable, and then that was the dumbest out of everything in this presidency. In my opinion, this was the most stupid, small thing that he could have gone after and made it national.
Well, you said, what do you expect him to do when somebody calls him mentally
unstable?
Mentally unstable, and what I expect him to do is to go see a shrink.
Yeah,
that marriage is a lesson.
Read the damn definition.
We can love each other and still get along with our differences.
Yeah,
Alex.
Yeah. Yes,
she's making so much money. He loves it.
Key to the house.
Didn't he get psychologically profiled when he first got in or something?
No,
remember that?
I don't think so.
A big thing?
I don't think so. There have been.
He had a medical examination.
They have a medical examination,
but I thought it was psychological.
They have a physical examination.
And and the doctor said he was in great shape. Look at him.
Yeah, they'll get Dr. Ronnie Jackson to get him to do it, and then it'll be great.
The guys that just did it at Walter Reed weren't the Jackson guy. It was Army doctors, and they gave a clean bill of health.
What they do to check him? Drop him out of the second floor and see if he'd survived? Jesus Christ!
Come on, you're going to tell me with all that weight on him that he's healthy?
He's okay.
Yeah. Hey, you're talking to a bunch of people that are, have a little bit of weight on them, except Charlie and
and me
Patrick.
and me.
I don't claim to be 139 pounds.
And me. I'm I'm just
yeah.
What?
It's mirrors.
No, it's not mirrors. Look at this. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. I lost weight, Phil.
Everybody stand up and show the stomach.
Look at me. Look at me.
No, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
If he didn't stand up like that, I would have never known he had it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Does anyone remember Buster Crabbe years and years when I was
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who kicked sand in his face?
No, that's Charles Atlas.
Charles Atlas.
Yeah. No, Buster Crabbe was
Tarzan, wasn't he?
No, well, he played Tarzan once or twice, but he was Flash Gordon and he was Buck Rogers.
I always thought that was so funny when I was a kid. There was a commercial. It got a big corporation up front. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, no, there are a couple of thin people who are not overweight. Charlie isn't overweight. Michael, you look to be in good shape. Fairly.
Me?
Are you?
He's got what I got.
Oh, you got that. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well,
how many months, Michael?
Hey, how many months?
I'm due in 3. Thanks.
Yeah. No, I mean the best thing I ever did recently was lose that weight. So please give me credit for that, Phil.
Weight matter.
Oh, Phil. Oh, Phil.
Dr. Bennett in the waiting room. They keep telling me that the problem with my feet and everything, that I have the same thing you have, like the tingling and the neuropathy.
Neuropathy, yeah.
They're telling me it's my weight. Do you think that's true?
In your case, it could be the weight. I don't know.
Had your sugar checked?
Well, I have
diabetes.
6.2 or something.
6.2.
My doctor couldn't figure out what's causing it. He thinks, in my case, my neuropathy is being caused by a pinched nerve in my back.
Well, I went to the other guy, and he found sciatica and something with the disc.
Yeah. Well, weight can cause that. Yes, but Patrick's got his hand up.
My neuropathy is caused by paralysis.
Right.
I get that checked.
Yeah.
Are you taking anything for that?
I just live with it. It's not that bad.
Yeah, he just bought himself a wheelchair so he could get around.
Yeah, he was just trying to get sympathy from other people.
Yeah, and those parking places, that too.
I think you ought to get one of those wheelchairs like that guy I know. It climbs stairs.
Yeah,
it's amazing what this thing does.
Hey, listen,
what?
There, you want to say something quickly, Patrick?
I said, I think Bill sent me a link to that.
Yeah.
It climbs stairs, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, we've run out of time here, but it's been a pleasant, wonderful evening with, of course, Phil Meyer and Charlene Martinez and Michael Klein, and of course the professor Josh Wheeler, Kevin Stopper. Of course, Patrick is in here a little bit late. Charlie, thank you so much for calling, and we lost somebody else, didn't we? Did we?
Charlie.
Yeah, we just lost Charlie. He kind of got out of here. Anyway, hey, listen, that's it. Hey, Michael, call us more often, will you?
I will.
Please. I mean, number one, you got a great picture coming in, and it sounds great, and you're intelligent, and I like that. We could use more of that. Unless of what's on the other side of the screen.
Sorry,
but anyway, hey, everybody.
No extra
You know I love you, Phil. Everybody give a big wave goodbye to our audience out there, and I'll wave back at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Citizen Panel. That's how it's done. And a whole night's worth of Citizen Panel, which is also very, very, very good. Anyway, it was a good discussion tonight. Listen, I'm out of here now, and up next on most of these Gabnets is The Intersection with Jack Bishop, and then tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Time, it's The Exchange with Damian Chaplin. And I'll be back again tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.